Hi, welcome to today's practice. My name is Francesca. I'm going to take you through this lovely fascial flexi flow. We're going to think about really opening up through the whole of the back body today. So all the way through the back of the legs, the back of the spine, into the thoracic spine, and also through the neck and the top of the shoulders. We're going to start reclined, we're going to move up into some seated poses, and then we're going to finish with some standing forward folds. And hopefully by the end of the class, you'll feel a lot more easy and loose and comfortable in your body, and also maybe get a little bit of a boost of energy. So this is a really nice practice to do in the morning, but also any time of day that you just want a bit of a movement break and to feel a little bit more alert and to maybe ease some tension out of the body. So we'll come down reclined to start with. Just settle yourself onto your mat or onto the floor or whatever surface it is that you're using. Maybe just bringing the feet about mat width apart, letting the knees drop in initially. And you can place your hands on the abdomen if that feels comfortable, or maybe you just prefer to have them at your sides. And just take a moment just to land and settle in a little bit. Coming into your practice and noticing what it is that you are coming here from. Maybe it's just first thing in the morning, you're just waking up. So how was your night? What's been on your mind? What's your energy? What's your mood this morning? Or maybe you're coming into the practice as I am, more in the middle of the day, and various things have already happened today. Maybe you've been busy. Maybe there have been some challenges. So just noticing what you're carrying in your body as you come to this practice today. You could take a little body scan if that feels comfortable, just tracking your attention through your body, picking up on anything that feels a little bit stiff. Maybe like there's some tension held there. I'm noticing my shoulders are a little bit up towards my ears. I'm just going to relax those a little bit. I'm noticing a little bit of a sensitivity through my low back that I'm going to be careful of during the practice. I'm noticing that my jaw feels a little bit tight. So what can you notice? What can you pick up on in your body as we start to move today? And the fascial tissues are really, really sensitive to all these kind of shifts that happen in our mood and our nervous system state throughout the day. So if you're experiencing a lot of tightness, a lot of pinching, a lot of pain, feeling maybe a little bit compressed in your body, a little bit tight, like movement is a little bit restricted, maybe that's telling you that your body has been quite tense. You've maybe been holding a lot of tension in your body. And so this practice is going to be really, really nice to gently ease some of that out. But we want to do it in a really nurturing and thoughtful way, just being really respectful to the work your body has been doing to try and hold you together, to keep you going. So if you are feeling those points of tension and compression, just think about being careful and compassionate, not scared of them, but gentle towards them, loving towards them as we move today. Maybe take a few deeper breaths here, coming into your abdomen. Just noticing the rise and fall of your breath, noticing how your breath feels. If you can maybe slow your exhale down a little bit. That may not feel possible, that's fine as well. And then let's just straighten the legs if you had them up. Straighten the arms, take a long stretch here. Just feeling the full length of the body. And bringing the arms back down. Let's start by bringing the left foot flat onto the mat, bringing the right knee in towards the chest. Just see how that feels first of all. How's it feel to draw that knee in. And then maybe you want to extend the left leg away again. And just feeling in to the front of the left hip, front of the left thigh, and you might want to rock your right knee a little bit. Just play with the angle. Our first little stretch, just being gentle. Slowly warming up the hips. And notice if you're holding a lot of tension here, can you just kind of wobble that leg out and just let it be, relaxed and heavy. Notice if that changes the experience and the sensation. Let's use the left hand to draw this right knee a little bit across the body. You can bring the right arm out to the side, not the whole way, just like a little twist so this right hip is starting to lift up, and then you could roll back again. And just take that a couple of times. Feeling now to the outside of the right hip and into the low back. And if you want, you could straighten the leg away from you. Just flex through that foot, feel into the outside of the IT band. Taking a big breath here, and then maybe keeping that leg straight. You want to bring it back up towards the ceiling. Interlace the hands behind the back of the thigh, or maybe you're wanting to hold higher up the leg. And just maybe pressing the leg into the hands into the leg. Flex and point that foot a few times. A little bit of a micro bend in my knee here. I don't want to overstretch. Take a few little wiggles through the foot. Draw the knee back in. See how that feels now. Maybe there's a little bit more space. And then let's gently go to the other side. So first of all, just bringing that left knee in. Seeing how this hip feels. And then perhaps you want to extend that right leg away from you. Keeping this left knee drawn in. Explore the angle. Just move it, see how this feels. Noticing if you've got a little bit more space on one side than the other. Remembering to keep this right leg nice and loose. You can kind of jiggle it out a little bit and then let it be heavy. Coming back into some nice deep breaths. Notice if you start to hold your breath at any point during the practice, can you keep lovely, long, deep inhales and slow exhales? Let's use the right hand to gently draw that knee a little bit across the body. You can use your left arm as a kind of kickstand. Just see how the outside of your left hip feels. Just playing with this gentle twist. You might want to make this a really small movement, barely touching into your hip, only just lifting it up, coming back down, or maybe you want to go a lot more over and really sort of rolling onto that right hip. Maybe straightening that leg, flexing through the foot and feeling into the outside of the IT band here. Taking a big breath to stretch and then bringing that leg up towards the ceiling, maybe holding on somewhere at the back of the leg. You could press the leg into the hands into the leg. A little bit of a resistance here, a little bit of a strengthening for the hamstrings. Flex and point through that foot, just starting to wake up the backs of the legs. Maybe a few ankle rolls. And bring that knee back in. See how it feels. Spread it away long. Let's take the arms overhead and maybe just hold on to opposite forearms here, like a kind of Roman salute, bringing the arms above the head. And just see if you can really kind of wiggle the back until the space in between your shoulder blades feels flat to the floor and pressed into the floor. Try and relax the rib cage down, draw it in a little bit. so that you're isolating this a little bit more through the shoulder joint. And then just take a few deep breaths there. So the lower body's relaxed, but the upper part of the back, the space between your shoulder blades, is really pressed down into the mat. And you might feel this into the upper parts of the arms, of the underarms, and keep lots of space around the neck. With every exhale, maybe just letting the shoulders get a little bit heavier. Take one more breath. And let's release the arms, bring them down to your sides, just shake them out a little bit. You can let your whole body kind of move. Fascia loves bouncing movements. It also really loves oscillating movements. So we're really going to do lots of those kind of oscillating, bouncy things today. Let's bring the arms above the head again, but this time turn so that the palms of the hands are facing down towards the ground, and see if you can keep your hands up on like little spider fingers and bringing the tops of every finger down onto the mat. So almost like you're pressing onto the floor, and then see again if you can bring the space between your shoulder blades nice and firmly in contact with the mat. Bring the left foot onto the mat, and then with the right foot, you're just going to start to raise it up towards the ceiling, and stop at the moment where you feel your pelvis starts to lift. So around here, I can feel my pelvis starts to roll upwards. So I'm just going to pause at the point where my pelvis is still neutral, and then I'm going to bring that foot down again. And let's just explore that. So the upper body is still. Hands, fingertips are pressing into the floor. Shoulder blades are pressing into the floor. Pelvis and low back are still. And I'm just moving my right leg. Starting to kind of floss the hamstrings, floss the back of the legs a little bit. Just quite controlled. You might have the knee a lot straighter, or you might have it a lot more bent and almost just tapping tippy toes down. Let's just take one more. And then cross that knee over your left knee. And you can bring your arms down at your sides, give your shoulders a break. And now just use this right knee to kind of draw that left knee across the body into a little twist. And then coming back again. And make this, again, a nice, relaxed, easy movement. So the upper body's not moving very much, and it's really just the weight of the right knee flossing through that left hip. And maybe you want to pause at the bottom. Just let your hips sink a little bit more. Take a nice big breath. And then roll back up. And we'll just take it to the other side. So your right foot is going to be down. Bring your fingertips back, palms facing down. Find that engagement through the shoulder blades, pressing the upper back down. Lower back is relaxed. And first of all, just slightly straighten that left leg and lift it, and just find the point where your pelvis starts to tip. It's about here for me. And that's going to be your highest point. And then we'll just gently start to bring the leg down, bring it up. Just explore the movement on this side. And it will be very different on this side. So be okay with it looking and feeling quite a lot different. Maybe you've got a smaller range of motion. Or maybe it's a lot looser. We'll just take one more. And then cross that left leg over the right. You could bring your arms down. And again, just use the weight now to draw that hip across into your little twist. And just explore that. Taking some big sighs. Noticing if your body is responding positively to these little micro movements. Very nurturing. Just bringing nice, gentle looseness to the body. Let's just take one more. Maybe you want to pause at the bottom with this one. Let your hips relax a little bit more. And then coming back up. Let's just take one more nice long stretch here. And then we're going to come up to seated, whatever way works for you. Just find your way up. Do a little cross-legged position. You might want to support your hips up on something like a blanket or a block. And let's start just by bringing hands onto the knees. Just take one little cow pose, tilting the pelvis forward, chest is coming forward, letting the gaze lift up to the ceiling, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then with your exhale, start to curve through, first of all through the tummy, tilting the pelvis up, let the mid-back follow, drop the chin towards the chest. And just hold there for a moment. Just feeling to that nice expansion through the back. Really breathe into those shoulder blades, spreading wide. And then slowly find your way to a neutral spine. Take a little wiggle. Let's just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Roll the chin down towards the chest. Roll it across to the other side. Maybe your head comes back a little bit, looking up, taking it to the other direction. You could open your jaw, rolling your head back. Maybe now try a figure of 8, rolling down to the middle, coming up, rolling to the other side, rolling down, coming up. Let's try that again. You're drawing a little figure of 8 with the top of your head. Maybe try it the other way. Come back to neutral. Just loosen up the shoulders with this little jiggling motion. Let's turn towards the right knee, and we're going to come into that cat pose again, coming towards the right. So think about the pelvis is tilting, the stomach is drawing back, drop the chin to the chest, and just start to move forward. You can use your fingertips like those little spider fingers again to walk yourself forward, finding a curve towards your right knee, bowing forward really slowly. Take your time. Find that cat pose. And then slowly start to unwind. Don't go all the way, about halfway. Bring your left elbow onto your left knee and use that to help yourself bring the right arm up and over into a side bend towards your left knee, looking up towards the ceiling. And then using the side body to come up and complete that straightening of the spine. Move back to the center, take a little wiggle, go to the other side. Those little spider fingers again, curving through the stomach, expanding through the back body, dropping the chin to the chest, slowly rolling into that cat pose towards your left knee. Big breath into the back body, stretching through all the fascia in the back. Take a big breath at the bottom. Start to slowly unroll, getting about halfway, just until your right elbow comes onto your right knee, and then you can use that as a base to bring the left arm up and over into the side bend, looking up. Taking a big breath through the side of the body. And calming up slowly, straightening the spine, unwinding, coming back to center. Let's interlace the hands behind the base of the skull. I like to let my thumbs kind of extend down my neck to feel really nice and supported. Just drop the chin back in, the head back into the hands, lifting the chin. And then let the weight of the hands tuck the chin to the chest. Come to center and just turn the head and the upper bodies to the right, keeping the elbows nice and wide. Coming to center, take it the other way. Lots of little micro movements for the thoracic spine here. Come back to center, shake out the arms. Bring the arms forward about shoulder height, palms facing one another. And we're just going to start by squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. See if you can squeeze them as if you're trying to draw a pencil in between them. And you'll notice the hands will come back. Your shoulders are drawing towards you through that shoulder blade action. Then think about widening the shoulder blades, pushing them apart, and notice the hands moving away from you. So take that movement a few times. Squeeze the shoulder blades, hands come back towards you. Broaden the shoulder blades, and the hands move away from you. Waking up all the muscles, all the fascia around the shoulder blades. Take one more. And then flip, so palms are facing outwards. Bring the hands behind you and just touch fingertips behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then bring the arms forward, broadening the shoulder blades. Flip the palms to face, broadening and stretching forward. Flip the palms, bring the arms back behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades. Touch fingertips and bring them back round. Flip the palms, broaden the shoulder blades. Once more, flipping, coming round, squeeze the shoulder blades together, touch fingertips, and spread the arms, shoulder blades wide, touching fingertips at the front. Good, take a little wiggle. We're going to come into a square pose. If that doesn't work for you, you can just do parallel shins. So with square pose, we're bringing our right foot up towards our right knee, and our left knee is roughly over our left ankle. This can be quite a lot on the hips, so if it doesn't feel great for you, just think about stacking the shins parallel. So find your little square pose and think about really bringing the hips nice and firmly down onto the mat, and then bring the arms forward. And again, we're going to broaden the shoulder blades, arms coming forward. This time, allow your body to curve in a little bit. And then exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, touch fingertips behind you, and allow this to bring you a little bit further down. Let's take that once more. Arms come forward, broaden the shoulder blades like you're reaching forward. Let that pull you forward a little bit. Exhale, bring the arms behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades, touch fingertips, coming down a little bit lower. This might be enough for you. You might just want to stop there, maybe resting the arms on the legs, or maybe the hands are walking forward into a little forward fold. Taking a few breaths, feeling this quite deep stretch through the right hip here. Try and relax the low body. And use the hands to walk in, again, just about halfway. And you're going to turn towards your foot. Bring your right elbow into the sole of your right foot. Make a fist. Bring the left hand over that fist. And then press down into the fist. Press the elbow into the foot. And use that just to twist a little bit through the thoracic spine, glancing up to the left. Taking a breath in this twist. Try and relax the hips here. And release, come back to center, unwind. Let's stretch the legs out, give them a wiggle. Maybe drop the hips from side to side, loosening them up. And we'll take it to the other side. So left foot is going to come up on your right knee. Left knee is roughly aligned over your left ankle, or maybe you're just staggering them. Find this nice stable position for the hips, arms coming forward, spread the shoulder blades wide. Imagine someone's pulling your fingertips, pulling you forward a little bit. And then bring the hands behind you. Squeeze the shoulder blades. See if you can touch fingertips. Maybe this brings you a little bit lower. Arms come forward, spreading the shoulder blades, coming down. Arms go back, squeeze the shoulder blades, bowing forward. And then finding that little position, noticing if there's differences to each side. You can go a lot lower here. My left hip is looser than my right today. And remember, this will change day by day and with the time of day, maybe even the time of the month. Taking a few nice, relaxed, slow breaths, keeping the hips soft. Just slowly walk up about halfway, turning towards that left foot, left elbow into the sole of the left foot, making a fist. Right hand presses down and use that tension to turn through the thoracic spine a little bit more, just keeping the hips nice and relaxed. A few more deep breaths. And release that twist. Turn back to center. Unwind, loosen out those hips. See what they need. Drop from side to side. And then we're going to cross at the ankles, coming over onto all fours. I'm actually just going to start with a little toe squat. So tuck the toes underneath and just start just by rocking backwards and forwards a little bit. Just feeling into the sole of the feet here, stretching through them. Maybe you want to take a little like extended child's pose here, arms coming forward, forehead down to the mat, like someone is pulling on your heels and pulling on your fingertips at the same time. Taking a breath. And then walk the hands back in. And this time we're actually going to come up. So you want your feet quite close together. Just move my trousers out of the way so you can see you're up on tippy toes in this little toe squat and just dropping the knees out to the side like a little butterfly pose, balancing on your toes. And again, you can walk your fingertips forward like someone is pulling on the fingertips and pulling on your hips. Take a breath here. Bounce a little bit as well. Walk the fingertips back, bring the knees together, and we're going to lift the hips and find down facing dog. So just whatever this looks like for you, your down facing form, paddling out the back of the legs, back of the calves. And then pause into stillness and think about just tilting the pelvis up towards the ceiling to give you that little bit more length, turning the fingertips nice and wide out to the edges of the mat. Taking a breath. Maybe take that little figure of 8 with the head again here. And then walk the hands back towards your feet. Bringing your feet probably quite wide at this point, wider than your hips perhaps. And let's just bring elbows just kind of over the thighs, above the knees. Just starting in this first gentle forward fold. Letting the head drop. Seeing how that feels. Nice and relaxed. And then maybe you're ready to lower your arms, tilt the pelvis a little bit higher. Take a little bit of a sway maybe. Or maybe you want to take that traditional ragdoll, holding opposite elbows, a little bit like that Roman salute we used at the beginning. And just try a little bit of a bounce, just tiny little heel drops. And just see if that brings a little bit of torsion through the spine, helps you to unravel a bit more. And come to stillness. We're just going to interlace the hands, bring them behind the back of the head again like we did in a seated pose. Bring the elbows in, gentle tractioning of the spine, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Top of the head down towards the floor, and then just turn the head to the right and turn the head to the left. Just take that once more. Let the arms go. Just cross the arms across the legs. Doesn't matter which one is on top, holding on to the shins or on the ankles or around the knees, and just gently drawing yourself down. Take a breath. Release. Change the cross. Feeling through the upper back as you do this. Big breath. Let it go. Bring the hands down. Bend the knees generously and just roll upwards nice and slowly, thinking about unwinding through the spine. Calming up. And at the top, take a few loose movements, feeling into the shoulders, the back of the legs. Shake it out a little bit. Bring the right arm up, left arm down, coming into a side bend. Let the hips go out. Bring up and over, other side. Just gentle side bend. Coming back to center, interlace the hands behind the back of the head. Think about drawing the inner ribs, the lower ribs in, tucking the pelvis under, keeping the hips over the knees. Start to broaden through the collarbones and sternum, looking up towards the ceiling like a little micro cow pose. And then dropping the chin into the chest, elbows come in, and start rolling in on yourself. Slowly coming down. Take your time, coming to chest level, down towards tummy button level. Slowly coming down past the hips, all the way down. Just as far as you're comfortable, take a breath. And slowly unfurl again. Just in a single breath, taking your time to come up. Coming up to center, tuck the pelvis under, tuck the ribs in, open wide, sternum to ceiling. And then start to tuck the chin to the chest, but turn towards the right underarm, and then keep going down. Now facing slightly towards the right, just your upper body, hips stay facing forward. You can bend your knees. Take your time, rolling down. You get to the bottom if you want. You can release the hands, walk them round a little bit more into a twist. Take a breath, and with the exhale, slowly unwind, still facing towards the right side of the mat. Interlace the hands behind the head again as you come up. Straighten to the center, adjust your pelvis, your ribs, open up. And with your exhale, towards the left underarm this time, dropping the chin in and starting to roll down. Slowly, slowly curving in on yourself, taking your time to come down. Dropping down to center. Take a breath, maybe release the hands, walk them around. And then when you're ready, starting to roll back up again. Interlace the hands. Coming up. Center. Stabilize through the pelvis. Opening up, noticing if there's a bit more space, easier to come back into that little back bend. And then center, let the arms go. Have another little wiggle, another little jiggle through the body. Let's just take that little figure of 8 again. Dropping the head back to the right, down to the center, up and back, to the left and down, and center. And then drop it forward, right, around, down, left, round and down. Take any last little movements here. Feel into how the body feels. Maybe you want to pause with a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Just check in. Take that little gentle body scan again. And notice what has shifted, what has changed. I'm noticing a lot more ease in my upper back, my shoulders, my jaw is looser. Take a few deep breaths, keeping the exhales nice and long. If you had the eyes closed, you could blink them open. Just take a moment to look around your space. Just reorientate yourself to where you are, to what's coming next in your day. And let the practice go. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, guys. I look forward to practicing again with you soon. Please do remember to like and subscribe to help other people find this channel. I'll see you again soon.